Dave and Vinny, Rainbows. Longcroft Estate, Rampant Horse pub. Did I ever tell you about the time we had a leprechaun in the pub? Ken the barman said. Dave looked at Vinny. Vinny looked at Dave. Pints were sipped. Ken carried on. The rain had just stopped and apparently there was a rainbow above the pub. A little fella clad in green came in like a drowned rat he was and kind of furtive. Dave and Vinny sipped their pints. So anyway, he had a pint of my best bitter once he'd managed to clamber up on the bar stool. The poor wee fella, was he okay after that experience? Said Dave. Your best bitter is an oxymoron, said Vinny. Ken continued unabated. So after he'd had his refreshment, he leans to me conspirationally, hands over this little keg that had appeared as if from nowhere. Vinny looked at Dave. Dave looked at Vinny. He said, "Thank you for my refreshment, good sir. Your reward is this keg of the finest leprechaun ale. The real prize at the end of the rainbow. You must share this only with those who are worthy." After he'd said this, he vanished in a puff of smoke, leaving only the keg behind. Dave smiled at Vinny. Vinny smiled at Dave. "Do you have any of this ale left?" they asked in unison. Ken smiled at his favourite punters. "Of course. Would you like a half of each? I'd not dole out the good stuff in whole pints." They nodded excitedly. Ken reverently lifted up a small keg from under the bar. He drew 2 perfect pints from it and slid them over the bar to the expectant Dave and Vinny. "That'll be £15 each for each, boys." Dave sighed heavily. Vinny sighed heavily. "And there is the gold at the end of the rainbow," said Ken.